Welcome to Crypto Connection, keeping you connected to the world of crypto. Today we're going to take a look at the top Coinbase alternatives available right now. As you probably know, Coinbase has been under a lot of fire for double charges and missing deposits lately. However, most of us are forced to just deal with it because there really hasn't been an alternative. Well, over the last few months we've started to see some competitors starting to emerge. In this episode we're going to look at Circle, Abra, and Bread. I wanted to include Robinhood, but it's not available yet in my state, so I'm going to have to leave them out for now. We're going to try to analyze these three apps as objectively as possible. In looking at them, we're going to compare them to Coinbase in these 8 different categories. First of all, we're going to look at usability, then the choice of cryptos, we'll look at the speed to fund, your control over the keys, ways to add fiat, fees, the security, and the transferability. So let's get right into it. All the apps we're looking at today have a great user interface and are extremely easy to use. I gave both Circle and Abra an A+ in this category, with Bread and Coinbase receiving an A. This is purely a subjective category, and you may find a different one a little easier for you to use than I did. If you use a major bank, all of these apps are very easy to set up and link your accounts. The next category, choice of cryptos, is a little easier to objectively quantify. As we all know, Coinbase currently offers Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and Litecoin. We're going to make this our baseline and give Coinbase a B for this category. Circle offers all the same choices, but they also include Ethereum Classic. It's a little more choice, so we're going to give them a B+. Bread doesn't quite measure up to Coinbase. It only supports Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash at the time, and it appears you can only purchase Bitcoin directly with fiat. For this, we're going to give Bread a C-. It's a good try, but it's not quite enough to compete with the current industry leader. Now this is where Abra really sets itself apart. It appears that you can fund your account with either Bitcoin or USD, and once you have a balance in your account, you can exchange it for Bitcoin Cash, Dash, Dogecoin, Ethereum, Ethereum Classic, Golem, Litecoin, OMG, Quantum, Ripple, Vertcoin, or Zcash, or even any number of foreign currencies. For this versatility, Abra gets an A+. They could get a perfect score if they'd allow you to purchase all these currencies directly rather than having to transfer back and forth to Bitcoin or USD. Our next category takes a look at the app's speed to fund your account. Coinbase gets an A for this. They offer immediate funding through credit or debit cards for smaller purchases and funding within 3 to 5 days via bank transfer. Circle gets our first perfect score in this test though. They offer funding via bank transfer just like Coinbase, but they basically float you and make your funds available immediately. Bread also makes those funds available immediately, but it appears you can only fund it through cash deposits via Bitcoin ATM. For this immediate availability, we'll go ahead and give them an A-, but they really need to make it easier to add funds to get a better score here. Our last app, Abra, gets a solid B here. They fund immediately via American Express and 2 or 3 days via bank transfer. If they added the ability to fund via Visa debit cards, they'd have a strong A. In our next category, we look at control over the keys. Unfortunately, I couldn't locate a way to export keys from Coinbase, Circle, or Abra. For this, they're all getting an F across the board. Bread, however, does allow you to import a key, and for this very limited ability, we'll go ahead and bump them up to an F+. The fifth category looks at different ways to add fiat to the app. Coinbase gets an A in this area. As we said earlier, they allow you to fund your account immediately via debit or credit card in just a few days via bank transfer. Circle offers the same choices, and for this they're going to get the same score. Bread, however, really fails in this area. They only appear to allow you to fund via Bitcoin ATM. In my situation, that would mean I have to drive 45 minutes to the closest one. For this, Bread scoring an F. Our last app, Abra, allows you to deposit funds via American Express or bank transfer. Since Amex doesn't have the usage of Visa, they aren't going to get as good of a score as Coinbase and Circle did. but I will give them a solid B. Visa is huge. Adding them would put Abra on the same playing field as Circle and Coinbase in this category. Now let's take a look at a category that's really important to a lot of you. We all know that Coinbase's fees are a bit high. You incur fees both at funding and upon transfer. This is the biggest complaint I hear about Coinbase all the time. And while there are ways around these fees by using their sister exchange GDAX, this involves kind of an out-of-app solution. So for this, I'm giving Coinbase a C-. Circle, on the other hand, hits a home run with another perfect score here. There are absolutely no fees charged to fund your account. Again, Bread falls short from the industry standard here by charging outrageous fees to fund your account. In order to deposit just $50, the app wanted to charge me an amazing $11 and change in fees. Bread scores their second F in a row due to these ridiculously high fees. Now, I have yet to fund an Abra wallet, but their fees look very reasonable. For most activities, there are no fees at all. You're pretty much only charged the network transfer fees that Bitcoin imposes. For this, Abra gets a solid A. Now, the second to the last category takes a look at security. This was another very even category. All the apps seem very secure and deploy all the current industry standards to keep your funds safe. I'm going to give all of the apps an A in this category with the exception of Bread. Bread is the only app that doesn't appear to have two-factor authentication. Although everything else about the app seems very secure, I'm going to go ahead and give them a slight penalty for the lack of the 2FA and assign them an A-. Now, before we take a look at the final category, let's take a look at the standings. It looks like we have two apps that are rating higher and could dethrone Coinbase as the best on-ramp app into the crypto. We have Circle in the lead with an A-. Abra is in second place right now with a B+. Coinbase is back into the third position with a B, and Bread is pulling up the rear with a C. Now let's see if those standings last through this final category. In this last category, we're taking a look at the transferability of funds. Coinbase actually scores pretty well here. I'm giving them a solid A. You have the full ability to transfer whatever fund you are holding to any wallet. I think there are things that could be done to make it a bit more beginner friendly, but overall I'm very pleased with how Coinbase handles this. Our leader going into this category was Circle, but they really dropped the ball here. Funds you store on Circle are basically stuck on the Circle app. You can transfer them back to Fiat and back into your bank account, but you can't send your crypto anywhere. This completely destroys the app for me, and for this reason I'm going to have to give them our only F- in this review. Bread scores nicely with an A. They allow you to transfer your Bitcoin to any other Bitcoin wallet. And Abra takes a little bit of a hit here because they require you to move your funds back to Bitcoin in order to transfer them. It doesn't appear that there's any way to transfer your altcoins directly. For this, I'm only giving them a B- due to that inconvenience. If they would correct this, it would have a huge impact on their score in this category. So with the last category figured in, let's take a look at the final scores. It looks like Bread remains in last place with a C+ and 78.13 points. Circle dropped all the way from first to third. They finished out with a C+ and 79.25 points. It appears we have a tight race for first and second, with Abra and Coinbase both coming in strong with a B average. When we look at the points though, we see that Coinbase has just been edged out by Abra. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We finally have an app that I think can dethrone Coinbase as the industry-leading way to enter the crypto market. My next crypto purchase will definitely be via the Abra app, and I have a feeling I'm going to be telling Coinbase goodbye. Have you tried any of these apps yet? I'd really love to hear about your experiences and if you'd rate them any differently than I have. Leave me a comment below and let's talk about it. If you've enjoyed this video, please be sure and help the channel grow by hitting that subscribe button and share it to your favorite social media site. Go ahead and drop us a like as well so I can tell what sort of videos you enjoy the most. Until next time, take care.